Back for more. Here's part 2 of your most asked questions about Spanish residency and citizenship. I've already tackled the bunch in part 1 last week, so if you missed that, go check it out. And just like last time, I dropped a link in the description with all the questions I cover, so no frantic note taking needed. And same with part 1, there will be acronyms that I will use repeatedly. And for reference, here's what they mean. So there's NLV, which stands for non-lucrative visa, DNV, which stands for digital nomad visa, DNIE, which stands for Número de Identidad de Extranjero, and the TIE, which stands for Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. Okay, let's get started. Question number 21. If I intend to live in Barcelona, should I learn Catalan instead of Castellano or Espanol? First things first, Castellano or Espanol is the official language in Spain, and there are 3 co-official languages: Catalan, used in Catalonia region, Euskera, used in País Vasco, and Gallego, used in Galicia. I would recommend that you learn Castellano first, then Catalan second if you really must. The DELE exam is focused on Castellano and not Catalan, so in order to pass the DELE exam, you should have sufficient knowledge of Castellano in all aspects, including reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Also, learning Catalan will be advantageous for you if you choose to live in Catalonia region or Barcelona per se indefinitely. But if you move to another city or region like Madrid or Andalusia, then you wouldn't be able to use Catalan as much anymore. But with Castellano or Espanol, it is widely used throughout Spain, so you will never go wrong learning that language. Question number 22. Can I take Spanish classes and DELE and CCSE exams outside Spain? Yes, definitely. Spanish classes in the Philippines, for instance, are much cheaper than here in Spain, so take advantage of that. I paid more than 2,000 euros for all the Spanish courses I took here in Barcelona, and if I took the same number of hours in Manila, I would have paid only half of that. As for the exams, yes, you can take those outside Spain as long as you book your exams from the Instituto Cervantes website to make sure it's legit. Question number 23. How's the point system of DELE exam? To pass the DELE exam, you need a minimum overall score of 60 out of 100 points. Additionally, you must score at least 30 points in each group. First group, reading and writing. Second group, listening and speaking. For example, if you scored 12 points in reading, then you would need 18 points in writing. And if you got 20 points in listening, then you only need 10 points in speaking. Here are some tips on how to pass the DELE exam. I highly recommend purchasing the DELE online prep course from Instituto Cervantes. It really helps a lot. And if you can, enroll in Spanish language courses or self-study and review grammar rules as often as possible. And of course, use the Conjugar Spanish verb flashcards to practice verb conjugation. One thing to note, DELE exam results don't expire, so you can take it whenever you want. Question number 24. Is there a language school that you can recommend in Spain? So I went to 2 different schools here in Barcelona, the Lingua Schools and Speak Easy. Both have online classes available, which is a good option if you're not in Barcelona. Now, if you prefer face-to-face classes but you're living outside Barcelona, Lingua Schools have multiple locations across Spain. And yes, I highly recommend both. Question number 25. How do I get my NBA clearance and birth certificate and have it apostilled outside Philippines? As far as I know, you can request for NBA clearance renewal and birth certificate online and have those sent to your home address in Spain. However, DFA apostille can only be done in the Philippines through our representative. In my case, I left an authorization letter in the Philippines so someone can apply for my NBI clearance renewal and DFA apostille on my behalf. Once that was done, I had the documents sent to my home address in Barcelona via DHL. If it's your first time getting an NBI clearance, you would need to be in the Philippines to get one. And as of making this video, I still haven't found a way to do the apostille from outside Philippines. I'm hoping this could change soon, or if you know a way, please let me know. Question number 26, why do I need to include the receipt of my birth certificate? So when I submitted my documents to my lawyer for my Spanish citizenship application, he asked if there's a date issued on my birth certificate because the document should have been issued within the last 6 months prior to my application. So I told my lawyer there is no date issued on my birth certificate, but luckily I have the receipt showing the date and time of issuance, and he told me to include it in my application because there is no other way to check the validity of my birth certificate. Question number 27, can I bring my family with me on NLV and DNV? Yes, you can bring your family like your spouse, dependent children, and potentially adult children depending on their financial situation. You can bring them with you on both the NLV and DNV in Spain. To do so, you will need to demonstrate sufficient financial means to support your family members, and they will also need their own private health insurance. Question number 28, how do I search for an apartment while I'm still outside of Spain? So you can start by checking Spot a Home, Idealista, or even Facebook groups, but be careful of scammers. If the person is asking for money before you see the apartment, even a virtual viewing, it's a scam. And don't communicate via email, always communicate in the platform. Now, if you're not sure, you can rent a room first, then once you arrive in Spain, you can visit local real estate agencies to check for available apartments in the neighborhood or city that you choose to live in. Question number 29, how much advance payment do I need for renting an apartment? In our case, we paid 2 months deposit and 1 month advance rent. Everything, including the monthly rent, is auto-debited from our Spanish bank account. To be safe, never pay in cash, always choose bank auto-debit so you will have proof of transaction. When renting an apartment and not just a room, it's best to go through an agency than to go direct with the landlord. Question number 30, what is pareja de hecho and how is it different from marriage? In Spain, pareja de hecho means couple in fact or common law couple or civil union. It is a legally recognized civil partnership for couples who live together and have a committed relationship but are not married. While it grants certain rights and responsibilities, it differs from marriage in several key aspects, particularly regarding separation, taxation, and assets. To give you an idea, here are the key differences between marriage and pareja de hecho. Civil union separation is simpler and does not require a formal divorce process. In civil union, all assets, income, and liabilities are going to be property of the member who acquires them separately and individually. Civil unions do not have the option of filing a joint tax return. They can only be taxed individually, with separate income tax returns. Lastly, if you marry a Spanish national, you may be eligible for Spanish citizenship after just 1 year. Alternatively, entering into a pareja de hecho or civil union with an EU citizen, not necessarily a Spaniard, can grant you the right to a 5-year Spanish residency. Question number 31, how long have you been with your partner when you registered for pareja de hecho? So my partner and I were together for 5 months when we registered for pareja de hecho. In Barcelona and Catalonia region, there is no minimum requirement which worked for us. In Madrid and País Vasco, on the other hand, you have to be with your partner for a year minimum before you can register for pareja de hecho. It varies per city or region. Question number 32. Can I work legally or set up a business in Spain once I get my residency through pareja de hecho? Yes, obtaining residency in Spain through pareja de hecho or civil union grants you the right to work legally and also allows you to set up a business in Spain. Question number 33. What health insurance should I choose for my visa application? Can I use travel insurance? For NLV and DNV applications in Spain, you need comprehensive private health insurance with full coverage equivalent to the public healthcare system from an insurance company accredited in Spain. With regards to travel insurance, it is not sufficient and will likely be rejected. And to give you an idea, here's what Spain requires. So no co-payments or deductibles. Your policy needs to offer full coverage without requiring you to pay part of the cost. Coverage throughout all of Spain and not regional. Coverage for the entire duration of your stay, meaning if you're applying for a 1-year visa, your insurance should be valid for at least 1 year. a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros, and coverage for all medical necessities including emergency care, hospitalization, and repatriation if needed. Question number 34, how do I qualify for public healthcare? Access to Spain's public healthcare depends on your Seguridad Social contributions. For NLV, you can make voluntary contributions through the Convenio Especial. For DNV, if you register as an autonomo or as a freelancer or self-employed in Spain, you will automatically pay into Seguridad Social via auto debit, which means you qualify for public healthcare. And yes, you can have both public and private health insurance. Many expats do. Question number 35, do I still need private health insurance if I already have public healthcare? This really comes down to your personal situation and preference. Many expats start with both, then decide after experiencing the public system whether they want to continue with private coverage. A popular middle ground option is a hospital plan that covers just emergencies and hospitalizations at private facilities while using public care for day-to-day needs. Question number 36, what private health insurance can you recommend? For your visa application, I would recommend Asisa. They are known for having plans designed specifically for foreigners or expats. Now, if your Asisa insurance is up for renewal and you want to change insurance providers, I highly recommend Adeslas. It's one of the major insurance providers in Spain with extensive networks and affordable rates. Question number 37, how long can I stay outside of Spain while a resident on a DNV and NLV? If you're a Spanish resident on either a NLV or DNV, you generally can stay outside of Spain for a maximum of 6 months within a 1-year period. Question number 38, how long can I stay outside of Spain as a naturalized citizen? As a naturalized Spanish citizen, there is no strict limit on how long you can stay outside of Spain without losing your citizenship. You can stay outside of Spain for any period of time without losing your citizenship. On the other hand, you could potentially lose your Spanish nationality if you acquire another nationality, if you voluntarily give up your Spanish nationality, or if you renounce it. Question number 39, what about community? Is it easy to meet other people? For this, you can join local Facebook groups, attend meetup events, and get involved in language exchange programs. Co-working spaces are great for meeting like-minded professionals, while joining sports, teams, clubs, or volunteering can help you connect with locals in a meaningful way. Also, don't miss cultural events like Sunday dancing in Parc de la Ciutadella or at iconic spots like Sala La Paloma in Barcelona. And enrolling in in-person Spanish classes is also a smart move, not just for learning the language, but for bonding with others who are navigating the same challenges. And even casual chats at the gym can lead to real connections. Sometimes all it takes is a simple hola to get things started. Last question, and perhaps one of the most asked questions I've received. Should I use a lawyer to handle my residency or citizenship application, and can you recommend or share your lawyer's contact information? So first, should you use a lawyer? Absolutely. Unless you're fluent in Spanish and fully comfortable dealing with the complexities of Spanish bureaucracy, hiring an immigration lawyer is strongly recommended. A qualified lawyer can help you avoid delays, ensure your paperwork is complete and accurate, and guide you through the often confusing legal requirements. Now, if you're going to ask me for lawyer recommendations, it would only make sense if you're also planning to live in Barcelona or Madrid. If you're going to live in Andalusia or Valencia, for instance, my lawyer won't be able to help you. And that's a wrap on all your Spanish residency and citizenship questions, at least for now. If your brain feels like it just took the DELA exam, same. But hey, now you're basically an expert. Still have questions that I haven't covered? Send me an email and I might turn this into a 3-part series. Who knows? And remember, the full list of questions and answers is in the description, just in case you want to revisit anything. And as always, if you found this helpful, give it a like, and if you're feeling generous, feel free to share and subscribe. Until our next Q&A, hasta luego!